I want to open up today before we go and introduce some of those interesting mechanics I talked about last episode. Uh, I do want to apologize for the lack of some of the usual things you'll be seeing this week. I don't think we'll be getting too much Slime Rancher. We still have every intention to finish that. We're pretty well invested in that one, and we would really like to see that one through. Did I go through this house? I think I probably did. I think I just had the weapon item shop left. But yeah, things have gotten pretty heavy on our end for a little bit. So, at least for a few days. That's why I'm playing one of my favorites right now that... Sorry, getting a little distracted. This is kind of just to fill in because we haven't been able to get to a whole lot. We do have some Dream Daddy that came out. By the time this goes up, I think we'll have ran through what we had of that. But we should be returning to our schedule fairly shortly. Alright, so right now we're going to go check out some of those interesting mechanics that I talked about that really just help set this game apart. Also, I just tried to beat something to death with my Spellcaster. Not the smartest idea. Alright, let's head on in here. Now we can finally have our meeting with the Master, but before that I want to check all the things. Every so often you can find some really good stuff. Yep, good swordsman. We should do some more training. I forgot I was reading this. I'm sorry, it's been a few days since I last recorded this. The dungeon is to the right. Follow me. Alright, so what's going on right now is I'm just going to go train with my master. I was just plowing through this game like, you know, any other time I would have played it, but kind of helps to read things. Ibla. Now, get ready. Before entering, I will teach you the most basic rule. Ibla. All the dungeons and towers change each time you enter them. It is useless to try and remember the map. This is the greatest mystery of the Southland dungeons. Now, let us enter. Follow me. So yeah, this has a lot of random generated dungeon mechanics in it. Oh, sweet, a chest. So Ibla just gave me a gift of the Wake Ring. Enemies are visible inside dungeons. Coming in contact with them will start a battle. But do not be worried. Dungeon enemies do not move unless you do. Proceed carefully. You will be able to avoid battles that are unnecessary. Well, now I'll teach you the most important thing in battle. Positions. So if you saw in combat, I'm going to just plow right through this and give you guys a quick summary. There's a 3x3 grid here, and we did get to see some of that in the slime battles coming up to this. I can have up to 9 party members. Oh, man. Pardon me. And the most important thing of the party member layout is that if all the members of my front row die, it's game over. And the front row doesn't have to be made up by the first 3. For example, I could have somebody in the top left, and the middle, and the bottom right. And as long as there's nobody further forward in the lineup than them, they count as the front linemen. Now there's also, everybody has kind of a general, what do they call it? It's a color scheme that will kind of provide stat buffs, like I think Wayne is red, and Cena is blue. And so what that is I believe Cena's will boost the magic of people in the horizontal and vertical line with her, whereas Wayne, I believe, boosts attack or hit points. I can't remember which. I think he's attack. So right now he's showing that if we decide to line up like this, it's all great and awesome because, hey, reasons. It's really not. At least I'm getting the benefit of her stats, her stat buff ability. But this method, where she's now to the side of me, would mean that she gets to fight alongside me. Now, he's also mentioning that when we're ambushed in a fight, that will completely rearrange everything that I thought my team setup was going to be. So if an ambush takes place and we're from the side, all of a sudden our entire system gets turned to whichever direction. So the people that I would intend to have up front wouldn't necessarily be up front. Alright, I think I have a few things I can throw on my people here. So let me just go through that. Make sure I've got everything here. Alright, so the Wake Ring, sure. And the Resist Ring. Oh, no. There we go. Alright, and then we're gonna go fight this slime. Alright, so so I can defend, I can use magic. These are drive abilities, and that's my items. I'm gonna slap the jelly. And now, rather than have her slap a jelly, I'm gonna have her cast Flash. Hopefully that'll do enough damage to end it. More than enough. So yeah, with each level up, this is one of the things I really like, the numbers. In this timeline, I don't know, a lot of the games I was playing around this time were like, oh, you leveled up, +3, maybe as high as 5. But yeah, I just got like +8s on 2 of my stats. So eventually the numbers get big and fairly sizable, and I thought that was really interesting of this game because, I don't know, big numbers just kind of made it look like things was pretty cool. There's another game on the Game Boy Advance that had crazy numbers and stats and did a few things different that I really like. I think it was Breath of Fire. Probably the second one. Alright, Ibla, I'll teach you how to use the A button here. Well, the A button has 2 functions, so yeah, he's being a little meta right now, from what I understand. He's just like, yeah, the A button does things, like it swings your sword outside of combat. You should try that. Hold down and release the A button, and it lets you release a wave. Which is kind of like, if anybody's ever seen Inuyasha, it's like the wind scar kind of thing. You just create a vacuum and just shoot it forward. So if you hit an enemy with the wave, you can stun them. And you can also use it to check out weird things on the walls. I'm not sure if he brought that up. Yeah, okay, so there we go. We hit the wave. Now, we could ignore the fight entirely, and I don't know, I think I'll do that. It's kind of a pointless fight. Other things will provide more experience very soon. Alright, now this is, I'm probably putting this right in the title of the video. My favorite item in this entire game. Because, I don't know, I imagine this is like something that somebody saw and was like, huh, that's funny, or somebody just didn't even get that it was called that. The item that restores my mana as one of the starting items is called Magic Pot. I mean, come on. How do you not notice that? I stand by the idea that that had to be intentional. Alright, so now he's going to tell me how to cut down vines with my sword. Because apparently this, if I remember right, he's somehow tied to like the ancestors of like the previous Lufia games, of which I actually never really played. I've seen them. Sorry about that. I've seen them. I've even had one of them. Okay, yeah, he's telling me about the status screen. Oh, if you hold down start, you can change your direction at that point. I'm gonna give that a try, because I don't think I've ever used that too much. Anyways, that this character, if I remember right, has some sort of, so let's see here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Familial line to, what was his name? Wayne? Maxim. I think Maxim was the character from the other ones I'm thinking of. So he's like a descendant or something. And so yeah, it's kind of weird that we have this descendant of a great champion who defeated all the great evils, the big bad guys, and so on. And it's just like, yeah, how do I cut a vine? How do I do? But we've already, like, beaten down several monsters. Alright, so there we go. I did that. If I remember, if I step on that, that is just straight up a bomb. Like, it will just detonate on me, wound everyone in my party. Of which I should check my position menu. Yeah, I'm going to change this. I know I get a little bit of bonus from her magic, but just in case we're ambushed, that way I never have to rely on her being the front person in the party, and no matter what side we're attacked from, we can both, you know, make an action. Alright, Jet Ring. If I remember right, this one gives me big ol' speed, right? Speed and defense. Alright. If you go down, it will look like a dead end. But it's not. There are doors hidden in the dungeons. Oh, this is the vine. Before I was cutting grass like some Legend of Zelda shit. Now, I'm not overly certain on the item drop rate of, you know, special items and so on. But the little wall cutter that he's going to have me do here usually doesn't lead to stairs. Like, what it's going to do here, you're not going to run into this very often in the actual dungeon. So yeah, I can hold B and I'll go faster, so that's what I'm going to be doing. In fact, more often than not, that will lead to chests and other things. Any special items here? I do have these. Miracle, I believe, is a big healing item. Maybe even a sort of revive, I'm not sure. But one of the healing items you can find through those is like Goddess's Tear. And I don't know, it loses a lot of functionality in the actual healing factor. Yeah, so right now he still has given me all the basic knowledge, of which I'm pretty sure I remember enough of it. It only does 200, but it does 200 healing for everyone in the party, which is a big deal. So much so that it's the kind of item that you can start seeing fairly early on, but it is just like the thing to have. Alright, so we got through the... Oh, why am I keep just having her punch shit? I'm just used to, you know, the old grind. Just button mash the A button, things will die, you'll get experience. It's all good. Alright, so we did the tutorial. We found our magic pot. Let me see if I can have her heal herself with strong. Alright, let's head into, I think this is the Doom Tower. Oh, hold on. I need to see that name. I need to know if I'm right or wrong. Tower of Death. Alright. Alright, nothing particularly fancy on the sides there. Ibla. Oh, this is my master. Wayne, wait! I forgot to give you a very important thing. The ancient text of Drive. You need the required SF to learn the ancient text. Select the bottom icon on the ancient text menu of the status screen. So this is where he shows me about that spiritual force. So this is the spiritual force screen. You need 4 red and 2 blue SF to learn Drive. Take a look at the numbers next to Wayne. So right now we have 1 for red, and that's his SF. So our color is red, and it's only at a 1. Cena is blue, and she's also only at a 1. I haven't upgraded any of them. So we can upgrade how much they have, but we can't change their color no matter what we do. It's kind of like tied to who they are. So, because we're in line, we have 1 red and 1 blue. But we have nobody right now with a green or a yellow, so that's what we got. Alright. And from what I recall, your SF value when you're learning new skills actually only matters heavily when you're learning a skill. because you can, once you know the skill, you don't have to have that number per se to use the skill. It just will cost more points to use it. So there's kind of a little bit of strategy and customization as to who do you want where, when, and why. Because once you have achieved the bare basics of learning a skill, it's not like, oh no, I completely forgot everything because my SF is all out of alignment. It's more like, okay, I have to work a little harder to make up for the deficit in my SF category. So we need 4 red and 1 blue. So right there, as per the setup he has on screen, we'd be able to learn the new ability he gave us. But these aren't real. Okay, it's the IP skills that was that bottom section in combat. Anyways, this is just the example. I still have to allocate all my points, of which I get after every fight. And I believe that it's a value I can spend on increasing the people's colors, their color value, their SF, or I can buy spells with it. Once again, things I have to make decisions on as I go through. Adding for a little bit of customization, and I do really like that in this game. Alright, so now we're going to go through and we're going to, increase those stats as we need to so that I can learn that cool ability. You can also gather ancient text throughout all the dungeons. All the dungeons will have different ones for the most part. Alright, so now I do have to move you up here just so that I can have a blue. Alright, now... Alright, yes, save the changes. It's not there. Ah, there it is. So... Is it the wave? Yeah. So... I'll go with that for a start out. Actually, I can go up all the way up to 6 for both of them. And then read the scroll. So now we have it, and it's gonna cost exactly what it should cost. Alright, heal. Save. And guys, I'm going to do a little grinding leading up to this fight, because there is something I want to do that I never did as a kid, so I'm going to try it this time.